Hey Angel, how you doing? Just checking in with you on the second installment of Falling Water. I apologize for the delay on this video, but I've been busy. As you can see, I'm working on site at the moment and I've just been away from my workstation for much of the time I'm out here. So it's been really difficult for me to fit these videos in. It also has been delayed because the tricky part about falling water is understanding the different levels, understanding how those levels correspond to one another and getting everything laid out correctly. So I actually had to work through all of those things before I was able to really get the model to a place where we could discuss it. So what I'm going to do is include in the email I sent with this video are a few images. I want you to load those images in to the project. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit about that process, and then I'll show you a little bit of what needs to be modeled, and then you can go ahead and model those pieces, and we'll chat more about it when we speak again. So let's go ahead and start sharing screens here. You can see I'm still using the same model with the site, although I think we're going to have to make some adjustments to the site at some point. Basically, we'll worry about that stuff later when we get to it. Where we're going to focus is on level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So you can see I've already loaded in the image. Sometimes it can be helpful to actually load it in and then scale it. You can scale this image off of the different dimensions that are on it. And you just come in here and draw the line. So clearly we're out of scale. This line should be 29 feet long, not 31. So we're just going to change the length of that line and then rescale our drawing. We'll click our drawing, press scale. Click this first point, click this second point, and bring it back down. So now we are scaled correctly. Everything should be the right size. So this 4 is incorrect. Now, I've already copied some of the other ones over, but I don't think they're in the right spot. So let's delete those out. First, we'll come into level 1. And what I'd like to do is create a box. I'm going to set it to a colored line. I don't have one loaded. We'll try a hidden line. Come up to the corner, and now we're going to draw this box around. If you hover over that line and press tab, it'll take you to the whole box. Press copy. And now I want you to paste that to the same level on the second level. You should have already created levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can just make each level 10 feet apart. So we're going to align that square to the same place. So now we've got this loaded here. But what we need to do is bring in an image. We're going to bring in from my desktop. I already have loaded falling water. I'll send you these files separately. First floor. So you can see it comes in a little bit larger than what we need, but we can adjust it to fit into that square we've already created because these drawings are all at the same scale. So just to make sure we're accurate, we bring it in. You can tab over the corners to get the purple square, and then looks like they're just a little bit different in size. So we're going to have to ultimately line these up so that everything matches. But for right now, we'll just do it like that. We're going to do the same thing on the third level. Go to modify, paste, same place, insert image, which you should have downloaded from the email, second floor. Again, it comes in too big. And we just size it to the right size here. It's not going to be perfect. We're working off of unscaled drawings. And perfect. Now, we can check to see if our scale is correct by coming up here, drawing a line, say 10 feet. All right, we're good. We're good. Pretty close. And we'll do the same in the final floor, third, fourth floor. You can set these up 10 feet per floor. We may have to adjust this later, but for now that will work. Go to modify on the level 4, paste in same place. All right. And now we're going to insert our final image, which is the roof plan. Again, comes in too big, but we'll just scale it to the size that we need. And one nice thing about the images is you can grab the corner and take it directly into the match line. So you can see these are a little bit different in size, but we can worry about finessing it all later. For now we have all our images placed. We want to start actually laying out different building elements. So you can see that this is all earth, this shaded piece. Here's the river. Here are the stairs that come down into the Bear Run River where Falling Water is located. And I think the best thing to do is kind of start with floors here. So we'll come in, we know we have these different pools and waiting areas where the water can come into. And these are actually structural supports underneath the building. So these pieces are just kind of part of it. And this is the only piece that accesses the building. So we'll draw the floor in here, architecture, floor. And we want to just draw our own shape. And we can follow this outline. And I'm just following the drawings for now. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not actually looking for perfection on this model. We're still kind of massing. We're massing the model. So we'll close that. And now you can see you put that floor in there. If you want to be able to see through that floor to the plan below to keep drawing, you just turn everything to wireframe. I'm going to leave it on hidden line just so that we know what we've done. Now we're going to do the same procedure on the second floor. So we're going to draw on a floor. We'll do it by line work, and we're just going to capture all these areas here. This is the awning. Come around here. We're going to build handrails for all these areas. And I think the floor actually comes out over like this. Come outside of the building footprint. And now I'm just following the prints. That looks like a gutter. Here's a closet. And these walls are pretty substantial. The coat closet leads to a stairwell. So I'm going to put a floor in under that. We can adjust these later. We just want to get our massing set up for now. And continuing around the building. So I'm just going to continue this floor across this area all the way up to these stairs. Here's a whole sitting room that's built into the wall. See, this is why this was a tricky house to get everything set up for these videos, because there's just so many intricacies in the way it connects to the earth. It's kind of the big feature of Falling Water is it's situated on the side of a hill, running directly into a river and interacting with the river. So now we've drawn this floor piece. We've got the second level floor. I think we probably also want to do the bridge on this floor as well. So we'll do that floor. And we can just make all of this one piece really. So we'll come over to here and later on we can connect everything, but for now, let's just mass this out. And the floor comes over to here. We can just close the shape. Okay, so now we have the bridge and the first floor. If we look at our 3D view, starting to take shape. Like I said, we're going to have to adjust this later. So let's just hide all these other elements out of our 3D view. And we'll just focus, we'll just focus on the building massing for now. So you can see that first floor basement, second floor, we'll come to the third floor and another complicated floor plate, but we'll just work through it in the same way. Massing everything out, draw the floors in. There's all kinds of little doorway. Oh, I went the wrong way. We actually want to come into the building over here. All right, that awning, you know what, we'll draw that in as part of the floor. I have an idea for that. So come over here and close all these spaces. Again, we're going to do the same thing on this side for the awning. So we'll just extend these pieces out and over. And extend it here. We can do this piece with a arc like this. Take a straight line from there over and down. And we're gonna have to adjust all of this later, but for now, let's get our floor plate masked out to the best of our ability. These pieces right here, we're gonna have to look at images to determine what exactly those are. But for this awning piece, these little squares, we can just draw a cutout into the floor, and this will act as our awning. Copy multiple, and then just drag this down. Okay, and now when we close that floor, we go to our 3D view, you can see, all right, we're starting to take some shape here. As we add the walls, it'll begin to make more sense. Okay, and here's the final floor, the roof plan. You can see some of the other roof below, and I'm just gonna do this as a floor. Okay, so architecture, floor, we're just gonna mask this last piece in here. I'm a little bit light, but I'm gonna come back and adjust the lines later. Okay, and I believe this is the edge. So we'll come to here. We're gonna need to make some adjustments, of course. See, this goes all the way directly into the hill. It's a nice feature. I'm just really drawing line work to mask out the edge of the building. And we will enclose it. Okay, so now we've done this piece, and we can see in our 3D view, we now have the entire floor massing of the building completed. Let's go back to level 2, where there are definitely walls as part of this. So I am going to turn on wireframe so that we can start to mask this out. And I'm gonna draw these walls as a solid piece. So if we try to measure this, how thick is this wall? 1'9". Let's create a wall type. Right now we have generic wall 8. Let's edit and duplicate. And we're gonna make this foot 1 foot 9 inches. Okay. And we'll adjust the size to 1'9". And now when we draw this wall, we will draw that entire cavity. And when we draw this wall, we can draw this entire cavity. Now you're not seeing the wall because we have wireframe turned on. Come to here, come over. Now, you'll notice you start to have different thickness walls. I'd like you to make the walls the correct thickness. So for this wall, you'll measure it, modify, adjust. This is a 1'1" wall. So you'll make a separate wall type, edit, duplicate, and we'll rename this 1'1". We'll edit the thickness, be 1'1", and press OK. Now, we adjusted this wall. We didn't mean to, though. We still want this one to be 1'9". We want to start drawing a new wall that is our 1'1" interior wall now. And all of these walls you're going to probably have to adjust. You're going to have to adjust the floors. You're going to have to work with it a little bit in order to get the right massing. I will leave that to you to develop your model. I'm going to show you just kind of the basics of it. And when I turn off wireframe, you can see where these walls are at. You could also colorize the walls like we did in the last model. And when we come into our 3D view, now we're starting to see how the back of this wall works. You'll notice that they are in the wrong location. They're too deep. So let's select all. This just chose all of our 1'9" walls. And instead of it going from level 2 to unconnected, it's going to go from level 2 to level 3. All right. And we'll do the same here. Select all. And it selected all of our 1'1" walls. And we're going to switch it from unconnected to level 3. We're going to do each set of walls individually so that we can have the most control. Now, I'm just doing the first floor here, but I would like for you in your model to please go through, do all of the walls and do all of the floors. Mask them as best you can. If you need to use a generic object, such as here, like a model in place component, you can do that. We've talked about that before, but do your best to use walls to mask out everything that you see here in the building. Give me an email after you have the walls done. If you have any questions, we can do a Zoom meeting. We can talk through these issues. If not, I will check in with you and we can have a discussion about how we're going to handle the stairs, how we're going to handle some of the balconies where you can see there's a half wall here. So I'll talk briefly on that now. Let's say we were to draw on this wall. We're going to draw a wall to here. We're going to draw a wall to here. And now we're going to do a separate wall in these. You want to turn off joining. Disallow join. Now we'll do a separate wall in here. So we come to our 3D view in this area. And you can see we've created these walls. They're kind of in the wrong spot. They're too tall. We'll just turn them to the correct level. But these levels are only half height, so as to create a balcony. So rather than be -4, we're just going to make them 4 feet tall. And now you can see how that balcony works. So in areas like this, in areas like this where you have no poche, this is a poche right here. You can see the block. Those are half walls. Similarly to this wall here, it's a half wall handrail. There's some curtain wall and storefront elements, but we're going to worry about that after these pieces have been masked out on all 3 floors, and we have a total building enclosure. All right, so I will leave it at that for now. I'm going to send you the drawing files. Go ahead and load those into your previously started file, get them scaled and on each level. I will send along an updated video where we're talking about the storefront areas. We're talking about how we're going to handle the stairs and the final enclosure and some of the detailing. And then in a follow-up video after that, we'll get the site to a place where it's sort of matched up with the rest of the area. So I'm just going to come back in here and just talk a little bit about this last area. Similarly to this piece, we want to add in these louvers. So we will do that like so. All right, and press tab, it will select all. And we're just going to copy multiple instances like this across this awning piece that is connected to the 3rd floor. You can see the gutter in it. We're going to move that out. These are good base drawings. I think they give enough information for you to model all these pieces that we have here. And we just need to move these elements out of the way of the edge of the floor line like this. We're going to adjust the edge of our topography to match up with this later, but for now, model the floors and walls to the best that you can so that we can start to work on developing this further. But now you can see how this driveway area interacts with the rest of this model. If we turned on our grade, you can see that our model is not interacting with our topography correctly. So we are gonna have to spend some time fixing our topography because this hill should be embedded in this wall. And we might be able to just adjust this surface like this. Right? Still not quite there yet. You do select previous, select all of that. And we don't quite have it yet. We're off somewhere on our grading plan, which we took from a JPEG. So I'll work on getting a better file because we do want these elements to line up. And right now we just don't quite have that working yet. So I will leave you to model the floors and walls on this building. In a follow-up, we'll talk about storefronts and stairs, and then we'll try to get the grade and the river to all match up together so we can create some renderings and some final images. If you need anything while you're working through this, just give me a ring or shoot me an email. We'll set up a Zoom meeting, but just let me know if you need anything else. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon.